How are you? I'm so glad to see you again. I want to talk to you today about entertaining. For the next several weeks, we're going to talk about entertaining in your home and doing it properly. You know, the idea is not to entertain your family as well as you do your guests. I think it's quite the reverse. My wife teaches me that you should entertain your guests as well as you do your family. Now, that means that the first entertaining rule is you want to have a good time yourself. So you've got to be prepared when your guests arrive, have everything ready so that you can enjoy yourself too. And one of the ways to do that is a tapas bar from Spain. T-O-P-A-S, tapas. And it comes from this weird custom, and I think it's a wonderful custom. In Spanish culture, in the evening, you eat very late, 9 o'clock, you see. And in the meantime, you go to tapas bars, to beautiful sherry bars. You pour a glass of fine Spanish sherry. You know, they invented the sherry. And then, in the old days when this started, in order to keep the flies from your glass, from getting into the sherry, they have good taste, you see, you would put a piece of toast on the top of the glass, thus the name tapas. Isn't that a riot? And then you nibble on the thing as you go along. So let me show you what we can put out for a tapas bar, really all over the counter, and have a wonderful time doing it and enjoy Spanish culture. It's very sophisticated and very beautiful. First of all, we're going to prepare some shrimp in garlic. You knew it right away, garlic, right? Well, you know, you're with the Frug, so away we go with the garlic. We're going to prepare some olive oil in our pan. Get your pan good and hot first before the oil goes. I'm going to turn on another one here too. I have some ham chunks for you and some squid in tomato sauce. And everything's going to be a little bit hot the first time around, but that's all right. All right, olive oil into our pan, and we're going to add a bit of garlic. What's a bit? Oh, I don't know. For half a pound of shrimp, I'm going to put in 2 good fat cloves, and it doesn't have to be in little pieces. You don't have to run it through a garlic press. We'll just go ahead and get it in the pan this way. Just going to let that toast a bit. And we'll come back to this now as soon as the garlic is toasting. We're going to go on now to another dish. There we are. The second one that I want to do for you is simply called ham chunks and tomato. We have a bit of tomato sauce in a pan, very little really. And to that I want to add some red wine. Bloop, there we go. Come on, pan, get hot. We are. A little bit of red wine. What do I have? Now I have a half a cup of tomato sauce, half a cup of red wine. We're going to add a bit of chili powder. And you do this to taste now. Don't ask me. You do this to taste. Chili powder and a shot of Tabasco or cayenne, whatever you'd like to spice this up viciously. There. Now, I'll see if I can find the ham chunks. And what I have prepared are simply, this is not uncooked ham, but and nor is it fresh. It's smoked ham or cured ham. And we're going to put that into our hot tomato sauce and let this cook for a bit. You get the idea? Everything's cut up in bite-sized pieces. And we're going to put them all in little plates and then put them on a buffet. And you don't even sit down at these tapas buffets. You just stand around and nibble off of the buffet. I suppose this is for the Spanish nosher. You know what I mean? Okay, we'll let that simmer for a bit now. Let's go back to our beautiful shrimp. Now this one's simple. Nice garlic oil. And we'll put our shrimp in the pan. These are good-sized shrimp. If you can't afford these, don't feel bad or guilt or anything else. Just use a different kind. A little bit smaller would be fine. Oil, garlic. I want to put in just a shake of salt, not much, and a tiny bit of chili powder. Better not shake that in like that. You put it in your hand first so you can tell what you have, you see? Otherwise, you're going to make them too hot. And now we'll toss those a bit. Remember how to do that? Dip your pan forward, see, this way, so that you can they'll slide to the front and flip a bit. Flip a bit. Boy, we're into it again. All right, those are going to be finishing nothing flat. Let's go back to the ham chunks because we have a lot to prepare today. Now, I'm not trying to threaten you. I'm simply saying that when you entertain, if you have everything all done before your guests get there, then you can sit around and talk to your guests, and that really is the point. Savarin, the great French gastronome, said that you're responsible for the joy of your guests all of the time that they're under your roof. So none of this running around last minute jazz. No fair. I have a third one I want to prepare for you. I put a little bit of spaghetti sauce in the bottom of my pot. Let me get the squid now. I have to show you how to clean a squid properly, but I want to put a little bit of red wine in this. Just a bit in my spaghetti sauce. There we go. Oops. It's going to be hard for me to tell you what I'm doing next today because everything's cooking at once. The shrimp are done. Look at that. Now, in order to serve these, You can put things in anything you have a lot of. You see, you can use little white dishes like this. These are little porcelain boats. Or you could use little onion pots. These would be fine. Or you can use round dishes. Or you can use your breakfast cereal bowls. I really don't care. Use anything you want. I'm going to use a bunch of Italian dishes. I know these aren't Spanish, but they sure look like they're Spanish. So here we go. We'll put the shrimp. Oh, that's wonderful. Isn't that a gorgeous dish? Isn't that beautiful? Shrimp with chili powder, a little bit of garlic, olive oil, tiny smidgen of salt, very quickly cooked. And we'll put this down and get on to another one. Wonderful thing. All right, let's see how the ham chunks are doing. They're fine. I just want to heat them up. I don't want to overcook them. Don't want to overcook any of this stuff. And my wine and spaghetti sauce looks good. Let me show you when I'm putting the spaghetti sauce. Do you remember, if you were with us a while back, we cleaned some squid. Now, if you haven't seen this process, for heaven's sakes, don't get all antsy and picky and leave the room. You sit still and watch, or I'll get you. All right? The wonderful squid is cleaned thusly. You simply grab the whole body in one hand, you see, and pull the head out of the body. You'll get all of the innards except for the little cuttle bone. And the cuttle bone is removed thusly. Look at this thing. Isn't that fascinating? It's a piece of plastic. That's, it feels like plastic in any case. Then squeeze out the innards. Oh, stop it. It's just a piece of fish, for heaven's sakes. And then we'll cut them up. Let me get rid of the big platter here, because I have some that I prepared for you ahead of time. You see, what I want to do now is to simply cut them into little rings. You see? Here's the whole tube now. And we're going to cut them into little rings, thusly. And when these cook, you'll have a little bitty circle. You see? Isn't that clever? All right. Into the hot spaghetti sauce they go. Now, these will not take long to cook. You've got to watch this. You do all of this before your guests arrive, you see. Or at the last minute you would cook the squid, of course, and the shrimp and the ham chunks can be done ahead of time and just reheated. Whoops, I almost put my squid spoon into my ham spoon, or into my ham sauce. I don't want to do that. You don't want to mix these flavors too much. I haven't even tasted the ham sauce. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, that's... I told you to make it hot. I did it. That's just delicious. You see, the idea of the tapas bar is to put out all of these foods that are nice and or they're spicy and wonderful and refreshing, and then you just stand and eat all afternoon. All right, those are... let's let the squid cook a little bit longer, and we'll go on to some more. Another one that you might enjoy making is a sardine casserole. And this, I know it sounds silly to you, but oh boy, wait till you see it. Find a little fat casserole. Here's one. And now, the next ingredient, 2 cans of sardines. And I'm going to drain them. And if they're very oily, I would rinse them off. Rinse them off in a little bit of water very, very quickly. I don't want you to let them soak for a long time. Now then, here's the recipe. Are you ready? On the bottom of a casserole, you place 1/4 cup of olive oil. And then put in 2 yellow onions sliced up. Then you put in the large, rinsed off, what do we call these? Sardines? That's right. And on top of that, some sliced sweet roasted red pepper. You can buy these in any Italian market or any, well, most supermarkets have them. As a matter of fact, they're called roasted sweet red peppers. And I've sliced mine up so they're julienne. I'm putting in about 1/2 cup right on top. And on top of that goes another 1/4 cup of olive oil. There you are. Did you get that? If you want salt on it, you can. But I think the sardines have enough salt in them already. You don't really need that. And this goes on the top, or it goes in a 350-degree oven for about ½ an hour, so that when your guests arrive, everything is ready to go. I have one in here. Let's see what it looks like. This one's all baked and ready. Here's a plate. I don't want to put this. I'm going to move this for you. I don't want to put this on my board. You remember, you don't ever want to put hot things on your cutting boards because you'll ruin the food. Or you'll ruin the board. It'll begin to taste like, there it is. Begin to taste like cooked food or burned out food. We don't want that. There it is. Oh, look at all. See how the oil piles up. It's very thick in there. And what we're going to do is dip bread into this. Sardini, oniony, sweet pepperish oil. Okay. The squid are finished. The ham chunks are finished. Let's get these out on a plate here. We've got to roll along or we're not going to make it. Excuse me, I'll put this one aside. Ouch. There it is. That's the sardine casserole with onions. And now we'll do the ham. If I can find my pot holders. I've met so many of you on the road when I've been out talking to you about my cookbook or doing demonstrations in your city that I have to laugh at the things you've said to me because obviously I have some strange habits that you've picked up and that you think are funny. One gal, one of you told me to write wonderful in her cookbook because I guess I say wonderful all the time. Another one said, write heavenly. You say heavenly all the time. I didn't know that. So now I don't even want to listen to myself. The ham goes in one pan, the squid go in another. Oh, now we'll get into some quickie dishes. And I'll put these aside. And we can move on now to, why don't you make some stuffed eggs? You see, this thing can just go on and on and on. Do some stuffed eggs, but when you do your piping, or do your mixture, simply put in some chopped, a little anchovy. One anchovy, little flat anchovy for each egg yolk. And then pipe them. And we'll put a little bit of pepper on each one for an additional garnish. I have a whole plate of these here somewhere. Here they are. All right, you see how beautiful these are? And we're going to serve these. I have some more so that when these disappear, because they're going to disappear in a hurry, I can give you some more. I can fill up the plate, so to speak. Now let's see. After the stuffed eggs, this one's so good. See, I've lost total control today. I can't help myself. I'm not even going to show you how to do this. I'm just going to tell you. Put about a cup of almonds, blanched almonds, in a pan. Along with, in a baking dish, you see, along with a bit of olive oil, salt, some ground cumin, and some ground coriander. Now do this to taste. That's all I can tell you. And then put this in the oven at 350 for about half an hour until they're toasty brown. Oh, probably not half an hour, probably 20 minutes. Watch your oven. Now this, along with a glass of sherry, is just a classic in Spain because it keeps you drinking the sherry. And that's the point of the sherry bar. The guy wants to sell you sherry, you see. And you don't pay for all this food. You buy a glass of sherry and join it. Oh, I better do this. Sorry, let's put them in the bowl here. I want everything to kind of match if I can. There we are, that's enough. Put these aside and we'll find some more. The possibilities are simply endless. I've even heard of tapas bars that have potato salad on them. You see, you have a little squirt of this and a little bit of that, and you're on your way. Another one is meatballs. Make your favorite meatballs, but please don't just use the old plain Swedish variety. And I'm not knocking Swedish meatballs. I'm Norsk, you see. But put a bit of cumin in them, and maybe a bit of chili powder. I've cooked these ahead of time. They're not too terribly warm now, but it really won't matter. And you'll serve them with toothpicks. Are you getting excited yet? Well, wait till you see the whole mess on one table, and then you'll understand why I'm excited about tapas. We'll set it all up later. What's next? Now we need olives. The olives, I was in Greece a few months ago and came into an olive orchard, and I almost wept. It was so utterly beautiful. Olives are one of our oldest food products, and they give us wonderful things. So I'm going to serve 3 different olives on my tapas bar, and I'll show you what they look like. First of all, I have some baby French olives. Now, these are expensive. Oh, these are expensive little critters, but they're just lovely, and they're fun to nibble on. Aren't these gorgeous, little bitty bitties? And then we'll use some larger ones, and the larger ones that I have are from Greece, and these are a Kalamata olive. They're a darker olive, and wonderful flavor. How many dishes today, Mabel? 17. Hang in there. Then we have some Greek olives. I'd like to put some parsley on these, just to make some color on the table, and a bit of oregano. A bit of oregano will do the job. There we are. And perhaps a slosh of olive oil would be good too, if you like. All right? And then we have some green ones, and for the green ones, I'm going to blend them with a bit of vinaigrette, of simply olive oil, lemon juice, white wine vinegar, a bit of garlic if you wish, and a tiny bit of Dijon mustard. And that will just give them a little bit of added class. And that's what we need. Because you want, see, the idea behind this tapas bar thing is to have everyone mill around the table and talk. That's how they do it in Spain. If you're lonely in Spain, it's your own fault, because very close to your hotel there's going to be a fine tapas bar. And that's where you should go. You shouldn't stand around and feel sorry for yourself, for heaven's sakes. Get down. There I said heaven's sakes, didn't I? All right, all right. But anyhow, you'll have a good time. Because the Spanish are very warm, wonderful people. And boy, do they love to eat. All right, olives in vinaigrette. Big fat green ones. Yes, there is a pit. Yes, you put it in your napkin when you're wandering around the table. You were nice to remember. Just spit them into a napkin and get rid of them. And now, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3 olives, so we'll go on from there. How about some kidney beans? Just take a tin of kidney beans and put them in the same vinaigrette. And stir them about very gently. We don't want to mash these. I'm going to put some parsley in them. A little more vinaigrette. There we go. And we will now prepare our little pan of beans. And you can eat these with tiny little spoons or dish them up, you see. Or you can play with toothpicks, because that's the most common way of eating. For the tapas, you have a toothpick and a napkin and a glass of sherry and someone you like. And you're going to meet a lot of other people you like, too, at a tapas bar. Better save that. I want to do mushrooms next. Chaos, utter chaos. Is it possible to have too much counter space in your kitchen? Absolutely impossible. If I had 8 miles, it would be too small, I promise you. All right, let's go on to the mushrooms then. Where are they? Here we go. Same routine. Marinate them. Now, of course, you can vary the flavors in your marinade. For instance, I like mushrooms with tarragon. Put in a little bit of tarragon, and you'll have a wonderful time with mushrooms marinated, and then serve them with a toothpick. And let everybody take their own. You don't have to stand there and busybody them. A little parsley. Or you might want to put some oregano in your mushrooms. Rosemary might be nice. And onto the bowl they go. See, now all of this can be sitting there when your guests arrive. And then you can kind of strut around with a glass in your hand and tell everyone to go to the table and have a good time. And that's the nature of the game. All right? And, this next one's really a toughie. I don't know if you can manage this one. This is really too complex for you. Have you got your pencil ready? All right? It is called pickled beets. You open the jar. All right? Put the beets in a bowl. Stir them with some sliced onion. And put them on the table. Did you get that? Nothing to it. And this is very popular in this country, of course, and in Spain. It's very simple to do. All right. There they are. Are you counting? I think I'm up to 13. I'm not sure where I'm at. I think I'm up to 13. Let's see. Let's try smoked clams, and all you do for this one. This one's complicated, too. Take them out of the can and put them on the plate. There you are. Can you manage this one? There's nothing to it. And again, we're going to make another quickie with some cheese cubes. This happens to be a hard, what is this? This is a hard smoked Italian cheese. What do you call that? Provolone. This is a hard provolone, and it's wonderful in the tapas bar because it has enough smoky flavor to really excite your sherry. So everything should fit together. Though it's going to look inconsistent to you, and that's okay. That's all right. It can't be helped once we put this thing together. Finally, I think it's finally. Let's see. Is it finally? Salami, cheese cubes. The last one I've done is to make some little folded up salami bits, you see. These are very, very simple. This is just good Italian salami. Now, let's set up the table. I hope I have room. I've chosen a table that is not terribly large, but certainly big enough for people to get around. So let's put these things together now. And I'll remind you what they are. First of all, in the center, I'm going to put my casserole of sardine. And then we have smoked clams, and we have the cheese, the pickled beets, we have the mushrooms, we have toasted almonds. Isn't this a riot? We have salami, we have meatballs. I've got to start reaching out this way. We have kidney beans, we have the eggs, stuffed eggs. Remember, on this one, all you do is add a little bit of anchovy to your own deviled egg recipe. The ham chunks, simple with tomato sauce, just throw in a little bit of chili. And my favorite, of course, is this shrimp. I bet it'd be your favorite, too. That one's so good. And there's nothing but garlic, olive oil, and a bit of chili powder in that one. The squid is simply cooked in my tomato sauce. No, it's not cheating. Just cook it in your favorite spaghetti sauce, rather than just plain tomato sauce. Finally, 3 olives, 3 different kinds of olives. And now then, the nature of the game is simple. You grab a toothpick and a napkin, and you grab your glass of wine. Where's mine? Here's my sherry. Oh, incidentally, don't ever grab a glass when you're at a party like this that centers around a marvelous beverage such as a sherry. Don't ever grab the glass by the ball of the glass. Don't ever do that because you get fingerprints all over it. The reason that the glass has a stem is so that you don't have to touch the glass itself, you see? And that's the way the game is played. Or if you want to be very European, you can carry it by the bottom. I've always taught my waiters to serve wine this way because that way the person can grab it by the stem or by the bottom, or if they don't know any better, they can grab it by the ball. Now then, we're going to play the game. And we're going to remember that in Spain, did I get everything? I want to read the list to you once more. I'm not sure everything's here. Something seems to be missing. Shrimp with garlic and oil, the toasted almonds, sardines in casserole. Remember, that one's wonderful. Stuffed eggs, meatballs, any one you want. Simply add a bit of cumin to the recipe. 3 kinds of olives, ham chunks and hot sauce, squid in marinara sauce, or in a good spaghetti sauce, kidney beans in oil, mushrooms in oil, smoked clams, pickled beets, salami, cheese cubes. And we haven't even gotten started because in Spain, they will have up to 400 different varieties on a single tapas bar. 400 different kinds. Now, what's the point in such a place? What's the point in such a culture? Americans eat so fast. We eat in such a hurry that we forget the real function of the table, and certainly we forget the function of entertaining. In our culture, the term fast food, I'm not going to live long enough for fast food. I don't have time for fast food. I enjoy the world and I enjoy good food. So I want you to gather your friends, even if this is your family. See, if there are more than 4 or 5 of you, this would be worth doing. Maybe not 16 courses. All right, cut it down to 10. I'll let you get by. But sitting around and nibbling and kibitzing and talking is a very healing experience. So in the evenings in Spain, you go wandering about in the streets and you go in and out of tapas bar. Let me tell you a secret. Let me tell you a secret. And this is to all of the Spanish students that I've heard from through the years at my own university and some in Spain. This is how you live if you're a Spanish student. You go marching into the first tapas bar, and you grab a little plate, and you get a toothpick, and you buy a glass of sherry. And the sherry, incidentally, is served with on the end of a long stick, and he dips way down into the barrel. And if the guy is good, and I've seen some wonderful ones, he will pick up it's a little spatula, a little paddle on the bottom, a little cup on the bottom of this long rod. He dips it down into the sherry barrel through a little hole in the top, and then he holds it way up in the air and he pours. Lord, you're convinced he's not going to get anywhere near the glass, and he hits it every time. You have the distinct feeling he's done it before, maybe once or twice. In any case, the students walk into the first place, buy the glass of sherry, which is not at all expensive, and it's good stuff. I don't mean these cheap sweet sherries that we use in this country. Don't do that. Buy a good dry sherry. The drier the better. Tio Pepe I love, but I can't afford. A dry sack I love, but I can rarely afford that. But there's some good California dries that you will really enjoy, and buy them for your party. If it's a really high-class party, invest in something like Tio Pepe or dry sack. Those are wonderful. Anyhow, back to the students. The student marches into the first tapas bar, buys a glass. Don't forget the tapas. Don't forget the lid for the flies, you see. Isn't that crude? No, it's not. It's fun. Anyhow, then he goes to the table with his toothpick and his glass, and he eats and eats and eats and eats and eats and eats and eats until finally the bartender catches on and throws him out. What's he to do? He walks 50 feet down the street into the next tapas bar, buys another glass of sherry, fills up his plate. Listen, for $1.50 in the course of the evening, you see 3 different tapas bars. He's very well fed, and then he goes home and back to his studies. There's something terribly humane about eating slowly at 9 o'clock in the evening with a whole group of friends. And yes, it's true, some people don't even bother to go home for dinner. You simply have tapas after tapas after tapas after tapas. All right, so the first entertainment rule that I want to give you now, first of all, we're going to talk about these again for some time, for several weeks, is I want you to have fun at what you're doing. But remember that if you do something weirdo, if you have a Chinese hoko pot or something, we're going to do that, and people are sitting around us and they don't know what to do, you may be having fun, but your guests are mortified because they don't know what to do. So here's the rule. For heaven's sakes, tell them how it's done. If it's a tapas bar, you grab a plate. It's all right to go through the thing first. You're not being rude because you're trying to help them relax, you see. And say, I just love this kind of thing. This is how they do it in Spain. And you got to try the smoked clam. And you go right around that table, grab everything, and invite everyone to come and join you so that we can fulfill Saverin's blessing when he said that we're to be responsible for our guests' relaxation and hospitality all the time they're in our house, you see. We mustn't put them in a difficult situation. I've been to dinner parties where there's so much silverware on the table that I swear I wouldn't know where to start. And I'm convinced the hostess is trying to put me in a very difficult situation, you see. Kind of the politics of silverware, I suppose. You've got to be careful with playing that game. All right, there it is. Tapas, we have 16. You can add anything you want. Garbanzo beans, pickled herring, I don't care what it is. Some of your favorite things. It's kind of like a Swedish smorgasbord on a very small scale. But you'll have a very good time with it. And it'll be wonderful for entertaining and enjoying your friends. Don't forget the bread to dip in the sardine and onion mess. That's so delicious. There you have it. Tapas from Spain, a glass of wine, a table full of food, and people you love. Remember that no one, this is an old Spanish proverb, no one can be a wise man on an empty stomach. I believe that. Until I see you again, this is the Frugal Gourmet. I bid you peace. Bye-bye.